I went to CSK Sofia. I don't know if you've seen the vlog. And Ludogorets. That's first place third in the Belgian First League. No one really watches football in Belgium, but you know what? It was a fucking great atmosphere. Oh, has that gone in? No, it's not gone in.
By Belgium, do you mean Bulgaria?
Yeah, did I say Belgian? I meant Bulgarian.
Oh, sounds different to... I didn't realise
yeah, it's totally different. One's all about chocolates. I don't know what Bulgaria's famous for.
I don't know. Cheap stag do's?
Possibly. Yeah. Well, either way, there was about 6,000 or 7,000 in the whole place. And there was 13 away fans. From Ludogorets, who are top of the league as well, which you would think that, maybe have a half-decent following. 13 away fans.
It's not that big the away fan thing isn't as big in other countries, is it? You look at like Spain.
Yeah, they don't bother.
No one, do they? There's that when Atletico won Atletico Madrid won the league at Barcelona 2 or 3 years ago, and you see the Atletico fans, there's like 40 of them.
Yeah, my mate was there. My mate Ben was there, and he said there was just this like fucking red section in the top left. I'm sure he said there was like, was it 200 that they'd give him? Fucking old 100 and some thousand on it, the new camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they give them like top tier, right in the corner, fuck off. But there wasn't even a presentation. That's what I found really bizarre. Because Atletico had won the league that season, hadn't they? And I think it could have gone 3 ways, I think, that season. Atletico pulls it out of the bag.
It could have gone 3 ways.
And there's no presentation at the end of the game. They did it in like Madrid like 2 days later. Yeah. That's not right, that. You win stuff at football. You get on a picture of it afterwards, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But imagine having the trophy and then pointing up to all 4 of your mates up in the stand. It's like,
right, Dave.
Loads of crying Barcelona fans with the white hankies out.
My mate was sat behind. I think it was Courtois was there at the time. I think still, and he said he was sat either behind or next to Courtois' girlfriend because he came over at the end of the game. He said, "Oh, Barcelona fans had fucked off." Obviously. Yeah. He said then they just sort of did like, not really a lap of honour, but they just sort of stayed clapping the fans and stuff, and then he goes, he came over to where they were sat. He's sitting there in a blue United shirt.
It is weird watching football out there. We went out there a couple of months ago and went to a Sevilla game, and they just sit there eating nuts.
Eating nuts?
The noise in the first half of people eating bags of nuts is like deafening. It's all you can hear.
I do enjoy that about going checking out other cultures and stuff. And me and Dave obviously went to Scotland for Celtic and Barcelona, and that's not really that much different in all honesty. Yeah. As you probably would imagine. Then we went to Germany and we did Leipzig and Frankfurt, and obviously you can drink on the terrace there.
Yeah.
And some of the inventions that they've come up with so you can drink on the terraces is fucking brilliant. So they've got safe standing, so the seats are, they're very high up your back, the seats.
Yeah, it's like bars, isn't it?
Although you stand, yeah. But no, it was a really tall plastic seat, which I guess counts as a rail for from the one in front, because it was fairly high. But then you get these cups for your beer. So there was like pint glasses with a handle, and I was just thinking, it's like the Steiners in it that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not, because the handle's hollow, which means that you can buy like 5 of them, and the handle goes in, and goes round, so you can hold like 5 in each hand for the lads. But not only that as well, when you get back to your seat, it hooks on the back of the seat.
Oh,
the Germans are fucking geniuses.
Right, well, I mean, you say what you want about Germany, but they love the beer, don't they? If there's one thing they're going to look out for, it's the beer drinkers. In Schalke Stadium, they've got, I think you have to go in the posh boy seats, but they've got the beer tap that runs to the seats. Because they built the, where is it? Well, it's Gelsenkirchen or something.
Can you repeat what you just said, please?
They have a beer tap that runs to your seat in the VIP section.
Why didn't we let them win in the World War II?
It's because they built it for the World Cup. So it's the Schalke Stadium, and in all the VIP bits, they were just sitting there pouring themselves beers. That's
got to be a VIP only thing. It's got to be.
I wonder how many grounds do it now, though, because it can't just be
one,
them.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's right. Put that on the list. We're going there. Fucking hell, that's awesome.
The only one I've been to
in Bulgaria at the CSK Sofia game, there was loads of people selling bottles of water outside. Joe, like you see those swag sellers at Old Trafford with scarves and fucking hats and shit.
Up and arm scarves, yeah.
All the ones in Bulgaria, because I always find that dead interesting, and I always want to go and film the swag sellers because I think you get a lot of colour from filming that sort of stuff. But he was selling like sunflower seeds, and water, and they all had newspapers. But obviously, I can't read Bulgarian, so I don't know if that's today's newspaper or last week's or whatever. I just noticed as before I was going in, like, there's a lot of people just standing here with stacks of newspaper, and I don't know what the crack is. Is it like, the pink? Is it like the sport paper? Or I just didn't get it. And then when I get inside, the ground's that fucking old and dilapidated, because they've only just come up. I think they got, like, put into administration and dropped down to, like, the 3rd division or some shit. And you can tell when you go in, the ground is fucked. Like, it's proper fucked. In the 60s, it would have been called, like, in disrepair, right? 50 years later, it's just fucked. So I got the dearest ticket, and I think they just seen me come in at the ticket office, and I was just happy to get a ticket, to be honest, because I'd gone there. I'd left from the hotel 2 hours, because I wasn't meant to be going there. I was there for an MMA event, so I wasn't meant to be going to the game, and I had no fucking idea what I was going to do. So when I gets to the ground and I gets to the ticket office, which is just one of those like prefab like porter cabins outside the ground, and I say, "Can I buy a ticket?" The fact that she said yes just made my day. So I was like, "Right, sound." And I just said, she went, "Where do you want to sit?" And I'm like, "Not bothered." So she sold me the dearest ticket, which was £6.
Yeah, I was going to say, it can't be much.
No, so I wasn't asked. I knew that the tickets ranged from £1 to £6.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's 12 fucking lev, I think it's called, the currency.
Yeah.
Whatever. So she gave me a ticket and I went in. And then when I got in, I'm on like, the long side, obviously not behind the goals is the cheap bit. So I'm just beneath like the club directors where I'm sat.
Yeah.
And all the seats, I didn't notice. But as everyone started coming in, I seen everyone with a newspaper, and they're putting the newspaper on the seats. And I'm like, what are they doing there? And then I noticed a guy in front of me who hadn't bought a newspaper. And they were red seats. But do you like the ones that Upton Park was last year? Yeah. They were red, but they were burgundy, but they were faded like fuck, so there was just white crispiness on the outside.
Yeah.
Well, these seats was that, but probably 30-year-old. So everyone that was sitting on them was just getting like a white seat imprint on the back. It was madness. So that's what everyone was getting the newspaper for. They was putting the newspaper down, and I was like, "Hey, go a bit of local knowledge. Next time I'm at a game in Bulgaria, should I ever be, get the newspaper off the guy outside because the seats are fucked."
Well, it was just planting the sunflower seeds. You put them down, you get the water, then you get the paper out and wait for them to grow.
But they didn't sell anything inside the ground. As I walked up, I meant to film this, but I just completely forgot because I'll be honest, I was fucking nervous in there, to be honest. It was the most intimidating atmosphere I've ever witnessed from a crowd. And if you've not watched the video, because loads of you fucking haven't, because you've just looked at the title and gone, fuck it, go check it out, because it's a really good video, actually. If I do say so myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't play your own trumpet too much.
There's like a painters and decorators table at the top of the steps as you walk in. And there was a girl there selling, not bottles of water, and you'll see why if you watch the video, because they're fucking hoying the bottles of water that they've managed to sneak in at Ludogorets players. Honestly, it's the most intense atmosphere I've ever witnessed. So you can buy a cup of water for like 50p, or sunflower seeds in there. And I was like, what's with the fucking sunflower seeds? And then you get in there, every fucker's munching on sunflower seeds. Don't get it.
But that was the same in Spain. They all end up like over your shoulder as well, because people are
everywhere.
Just, like,
it's like the most messiest thing. I went to a baseball game in America, in San Francisco, with the missus when we was on our honeymoon, and there was a lot of people eating sunflower seeds there. And I clocked why baseball games are 4 hours long and known as the American pastime, because it's just about drinking and eating. I can get behind a party like that, but everyone sat around us. It was hot dogs, as you'd imagine, and sunflower seeds, and it's just the messiest shit ever, innit? It gets everywhere.
Yeah.
You get Maltesers.
The seeds are so steep as well. They're just coming straight down on you. Brush that sunflower seed off your...
Oh, they standing as well, so it's just fucking...
version of brush that dirt off your shoulder, innit? Brush that sunflower seed off your shoulder.
It's not the same cadence, has it?
No, not quite. But, I mean, you can make it work. Like, conversationally, you can make it work.
Arsenal's finished. Arsenal have done the business. Sanchez free kick. I think it was in the first half.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was. Has pretty much secured them the points with whatever happened in the second, because it froze. I think it was Ozil actually, wasn't it, that got that one?
Yeah, that's all.
How do you see the season panning out from here on in? Who's you thinking for the top four, and what order?
Thing is, Arsenal, I mean, they've got so many games in hand, haven't they? They win them all. They're in fourth, I think. Maybe not quite on goal difference, but yeah, I still kind
I
of
don't
see
think they're 3 points off us. I think they're still 3 points off us.
They do finish strong as well. And Liverpool, I don't really know about. They've been a bit unpredictable this year, haven't they? They have a couple of months on and then a couple of months off. So if anyone does drop out, I think it will be them. I think City will finish strong as well. So I reckon it's probably between you and Arsenal for fourth, City third, Spurs second, and Chelsea first. I reckon.
We win,
but Arsenal again next week.
We got 2 games in hand on Liverpool and a game in hand on City, and we play City. So if we win both our games in hand, we've got on Liverpool and the one we've got on City. We go level on points with Liverpool. I'm not sure, obviously, what the goal difference situation is, but it's not far off. They're ahead of us, but it's not far off.
Yeah.
And then if we beat City as well as winning our game in hand, we go above City. That's obviously going to be a big ask. But I think it's in United's hands as far as I see. The issue is, one of the games in hand is Southampton away, not an easy place to go to. We have got to play City. We have got to play Arsenal. And that, as you know, could go either fucking way, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Arsenal could Arsenal it, or they could turn up and actually fucking beat someone for a change.
Yeah.
Although we bullied them big time at Old Trafford, and they were so fortunate to get a point out of that game. That midfield three of Herrera, Carrick and Pogba completely fucking destroyed them. And I've no idea how they managed to be in a position to even get an equaliser at the end. They should have been fucking long gone. They were shite. And then we got to Spurs. And we beat Spurs very well. I think it was December we played them, and we beat them very well. But they're a different story at home, and they've got a bit between the teeth, and we're getting fucked about with Europa League. So,
how do you feel about the Europa League? Because I've got a mate who supports Man United. He reckons you might kind of give up on the league if you get into the semi-finals, because that's a path into the Champions League, isn't it? It's a trophy and it's a path into the Champions League. It's almost.
But it's a knockout competition, isn't it? I mean, even if you get to the final, you can't just say, fuck it, fuck the league. Let's concentrate on this, because if you then come 5th or 6th and just lose to a scrappy offside deflective goal in the final, which, let's face it, could fucking happen. I think you've just got to take it, as cliched as it is, I think you've got to take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
And you've got to try and win every single match from now to the end of May. And we're not going to, but you've got to try. I think there's more margin for error in the league, but it's like that. Whereas there's essentially no margin for error. I mean, we don't even need to lose on Thursday night, and we're out.
Yeah.
No.
Because he rested Ibrahimovic on, was it Saturday or Sunday, didn't he? So that says something. It's not often really you see Premier League rest players for Europa League games.
I think the only time he's fucking rested Ibra was when we played Northampton. I think he came off the bench then. So yeah, we've not. I thought when I saw the team, I didn't think it. I fucking said it. I said it on Full Time Devil Stream and I tweeted it. I was like, that is Jose playing his hand that he has said the league is not fucking going to happen for us. Let's put all the eggs into the Europa basket. Yeah. I think he set us out for winning, but I expected to lose.
Yeah.
I think.
I
think he was sort of hedging his bets a little bit with Thursday night. As far as the Europa League as a competition, it doesn't do anything for the stature of Manchester United as a club.
No,
it's literally a tool that we can get back into the Champions League with. I don't want to be in it next season.
What, the Europa League?
No.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But Rashford's goal against Bournemouth seems to have sorted him out a bit, because he had a very similar chance against Chelsea last time he played him, didn't he? And then this time finished it straight away, 7th minute. Do you reckon he's going to sort of kick on a bit? Like, because he's had a bit of a rough middle patch of the season, hasn't he? He started quite well, and then the middle's been a bit.
Well, he's not.
Dodgy.
He hasn't played up front, but he's not. He's not ready to play up front every game yet.
Yeah.
He's got some wonderful fucking qualities, and the best one being his attitude to everything.
Yeah.
His attitude is absolutely perfect, but he was never like a Gary Goals, Ruud van Nistelrooy style striker. Like, I watched him from I think he was 15 when he first came into the under-18s, and he's never been a Gary Goalski. He's never just been a guy that's just fucking goals. He's that pressing high defensive, harrying forward that does get himself into good positions, but his finishing has never been his best attribute. He's never even been close to his best attribute. I wrote about him, it might have been a year and a half ago. It was well before he made his debut. It was about 6 months before he's made his debut, I think. Or maybe a bit less, might have been 3 or 4 months before he made his debut. And I said, I love watching him because I love the intensity. It's like he's playing angry all the time. It's like you've robbed the ball off him. He's like, give me the ball! And I love that intensity because you don't see that often in players. And there's a couple of players that had that in the same side. Joe Riley was another one. And there's a game that I keep talking about it because it was, honestly, I've never seen anything like it on a football pitch. It was QPR and it was in the under-21s. And he was playing Rashford on the left wing and Riley left back. Both of them technically out of position. One's a right back, one's a forward. And the right back for QPR, after about an hour, every time he got the ball, he just kicked it out. Like, literally just punted it into touch like he's fucking playing rugby union. And that was because every time he got the ball, Rashford was fucking tear-assing at him, and Riley was tear-assing at him, and they're both exactly the same mentality, and they just fucking kettled him. His head fell off completely. He had no touch, he had nothing, he just completely fell to pieces. And Rashford was doing that yesterday to David Luiz and Cahill. He was forcing mistakes out of him, and that's one of his best attributes. Now, when he does get into... what I ended up writing about him was, if he finds the composure to start finishing his chances, because there was so many times... I think it was in the FA Youth Cup, not the game that we went out. We got twatted off Chelsea in the FA Youth Cup that season with Rashford in the team, and with Fosu Mensah and Tuanzebe in the team. But it just shows you it's not about the results at that level, clearly, because we've gone on and had how many debuts from that side that got completely fucking destroyed. But Rashford was going through one-on-one time after time, and it was going over the bar, it was fucking going wide, and you just think, he's getting into these great positions, he just needs to take a breath. And then when he breaks onto the scene, and he scores the goals that he scores, and you look at the goals against Arsenal, the one in the Manchester derby, the one against you lot, and you're like, this kid's got no composure, shut the fuck up, Howson, you don't know what you're talking about. But I think you've seen a little bit of that this season. I think it was a bit of a surprise factor last year. And I think also the games that he was played in was against teams that was going to come and attack us. West Ham was having a good time last year. You came and attacked us. Arsenal are always going to come and attack you. City are going to attack you and you're going to have even games. And that was where Rashford excelled because he works great against teams that play a high line because he's fucking so quick over that first couple of metres. It doesn't even make sense sometimes. Like, he's so far behind the ball... And you're like, oh, someone's got that comfortably. And then he's in front of them, or he's putting pressure on them, and he's making them fumble with it. And you're like, how the fucking hell's he done that? I think that you've got to play it to his strengths. And I'd said before the Chelsea game, Rashford will be the one. I didn't think he was going to play him, but I said if he does, Rashford will be the one because of his sheer pace in the channels behind him. And that's how you beat a team like Chelsea. Take Kante out of the game. Stop playing it down the middle where he's going to have an influence. Go wide, go into the channels, go fucking long if you have to. Find Rashford and he will do some business for you. And that's what he did. The problem is people now project, well, he did it against Chelsea, he must be able to do it against West Brom. But West Brom at home, at Old Trafford, is such a different fucking kettle of fish. They're going to sit back and collapse. They're going to have 4 men around that centre forward. There's going to be no space for him to run into behind. And he's not developed his game enough yet. I mean, he's only 19. I'm not saying he's never going to, but yet, right now, I don't think if people are saying if Ibra goes, let's just play Rashford. Like, that's not a good idea. He's not that he's not ready yet. I like the guy. I fucking love him, but he's not there yet. I think he might get there because I think his attitude and his work rate tells you that this is the kid that's going to put the graft in the training pitch. Just by the way he plays the game, you can see that. And
he hasn't got that.
He's developed so much in this 12 months since he made his debut that he couldn't put him in the under-21s. Now it'd be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think give him another couple of years in and around this top level, and there'd be a serious player there, I think.
I think he doesn't have that Billy Big Bollocks attitude either, does he? He's had that season he had last season. Quite easy for a 19-year-old, 18-year-old to sort of get distracted and think he's already made it. He seems to be quite well grounded. Speaking of the old Zlatan going, who is the replacement? It's not Lukaku, is it? Who Everton are saying they want to sell for 100 million quid now.
I'd love it to be Lukaku. I don't think they're getting 100 million quid for him. That's nuts. I think he's going Chelsea though.
Yeah.
I'm hearing mad stuff like I'd heard United had put a bid in from a guy that knows this shit that United had put a bid in for Ozil, and I was like, why? Like, I consider several players to be very similar in ability and in qualities, and that's Mata, Mkhitaryan, Ozil, and the other name is James Rodriguez because that's the one that's always linked with United, and I just think that's fucking bullshit. And then this morning I was chatting to someone and I was like, what do you know? And he goes, the person that he deals with thinks that Rodriguez to United is all but done for the summer because Mourinho really likes him and it's the position that he's after. And Arsenal obviously fucked us off for Ozil, and I'm like, Why are we signing? Why are we going to have 3 number 10s? Is he going to invent another formation? Like, how the fuck is this going to work?
Yeah.
When we've got issues with a number 9 potentially, I don't think Rodriguez. I don't think another number 10's the fucking answer. I think Mata and Mkhitaryan are both great footballers. I don't think you're getting a level up with Ozil or Rodriguez. I think you're just getting a real fucking similar footballer. I'd love Lukaku. I don't think Griezmann's the same player either. I would love Lukaku. If it's not Lukaku, I'd love a Lewandowski, but we're never signing Lewandowski.
Oh,
so
I
don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. Maybe you go for a 2-striker system with Martial and Rashford and possibly Griezmann, and you play 2 out of them 3 if that's how you're going to rock it.
Yeah.
Clearly with a number 10 behind. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, Zlatan, what's that stat about him as well? Like missing the most key chances or whatever. To me, that just says like he's getting...
Yeah.
That says more to me about the amount of chances he makes himself.
Well, that's the difference between what we've done with...
He scored 17, hasn't he, in the league?
Yeah.
So he's missed 18 chances, but he's scored 17 as well, which is more than a lot of people do.
Well, he's not just missed that. I mean, he's had over 130 shots, I think, and scored 28 goals. So he's missed over 100 chances, or 100 shots at least. You wouldn't call them all big chances. And even the top most deadliest strikers in the world, they get around 30% tops. But he's operating around about... I think the club as a whole is doing about 12.5%. I think he's doing about 15%, which is down from what he normally does. He normally does 25, 26%. If he was doing 25, 26%, then fuck me, mate. How much more has he got? He's going to have got nearly double what he's already got, which is a great return. He's going to end up with over 30 goals, without a shadow of a doubt. So you'd have been talking him doing another fucking 50 goal a season at United when he only does that against Farmers, doesn't he? He's really impressed me. He has really impressed me. I'd keep him for another season just because I think the instability United have had over this last couple of years, any form of stability is going to be good for us. I think Mourinho's proven himself, not only with what I saw yesterday, because I've seen it a few times now, with tactical fluidity from him is fucking excellent. But he's also closing in on Fergie's record of undefeated league matches, and he's doing that in his first season after taking over a really ordinary United side. So I think you've got to take your fucking hat off to that. I think he's doing... He's doing good work, and I think another summer... Well, look at the 4 signings he made. They've all been fucking brilliant. None of them have flopped in the slightest. So, statistically, he's going to have one absolute fucking nightmare of a signing next year. I think it's good to prepare ourselves for that right now, because...
even Fergie had Jembas, didn't he?
Fergie had a lot. When you go through it, it's probably like 50-50 of players that worked and players that didn't. So for Jose Mourinho to knock it out of the park with 4 bangers in his first season, fair fucks to him. There's no way he's doing that again. There's no way we sign 4 players and they're all mint. No way. One of them's going to be absolute fucking donkey, and it'll be like 80 million worth of absolute donkey as well, because that's the fucking supermarket we're shopping at the moment, isn't it? What you got to do? What you lot going to do? What's West Ham going to do next year? Is there any rumours or anything? Are you going to fuck them owners off?
There's always talk about strikers, but then so about this time every year, we always get, about 3 weeks ago, they was talking about Wayne Rooney, weren't they? And then they were talking about bloody Lacazette again. It's like, no, we're not going to sign any of these players. I think they leaked these rumours about season ticket renewal time. And then the reality
That's another one of them conspiracies everybody has, done it? Oh, they fucking do it on purpose, and I don't think they do.
The reality is we end up with Snodgrass and Abel Hernandez or something. So, I don't know. I've got no idea what we're going to get, but we need a right back. We need a good centre forward, but then every club in the world does.
What's in your academy though? Because I thought West Ham had a fucking banging academy, or was that 10 years, 15 years ago?
We've got that Reece Oxford lad, but we've loaned him out again and he doesn't seem to be playing. I think he's at Reading. Yeah, he's at Reading, but he's not really playing very much. And I think that's the problem with quite a lot of our loanees. They're not really playing very much. So I don't know what we got in terms of youth that's ready to come through. There's a 16-year-old. I think we actually signed him this summer. He might have come through the academy, but we got a kid called Dominguez Quina, who is going to be really good. Like he's got a couple of first team appearances at 16.
A decent sign.
Yeah, and then there's a lad who we signed from Valencia. He's on loan at Oxford at the moment, called Tony Martinez, and he was doing really well in the youth sides, and he scored a few for them as well. So hopefully he can make the step up next year. Because this year I think we signed Ashley Fletcher from ULOT, and that didn't quite work out for whatever reason. And we signed a geezer called John Caleri as well, who's a bit hopeless, but he's played more than Fletcher. Fletcher just seems a bit. He's just lacking a bit of polish. You know, I can see.
He went out to Barnsley, didn't he, at the end of last season? And was it last season or season before?
Last season, I think.
Yeah, it was last season, and he did well.
Yeah,
but I think that might be around his level for a couple of years until he finds his feet. I think he's got a higher. I think he probably can play in the Premier League at some point, but it was an eye opener of a move. You know, it raised a few eyebrows. And you're like, Canal, really?
Well, because he was the one who was meant to get the Rashford chance, wasn't he? But he was injured at the time.
Well, people have said that. No one was meant to have got it, really. I mean,
it was just
the unprecedented number of injuries that we had.
Yeah.
It's one of them, isn't it? I mean, you could argue James Wilson and Will Keane should have got it as well. And
yeah. But
I've never seen anyone take the chance that they've been given like Rashford, though. And you can't fucking deny anything. Every fucking England and everything, he's just been like, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Fletcher's had his chances as well, and he's not really delivered on that. But the way he plays, you know, he's a big lad, isn't he? And I can see him really only. I know everyone obviously hits their prime at sort of 27, 28, 29, but I can see him becoming like a good player as he gets older and smarter, but like a very good player. Not just sort of hitting a prime, but kind of taking a next step, or taking a step to the next level. But yeah, I think he's got a few years, you know, at your Huddersfield. Well, they might be coming up, but a few years in the sort of northeast. Yeah.
I think if he'd have gone to a Championship team, top end, you know, like I said, Brighton, Huddersfield, even a Newcastle or somewhere like that, and he'd have been playing on a regular basis. How often has he played for you this year?
Less and less as the season went on. At the beginning, because we were shocking at the beginning, and I mean we've been shocking all season, but we were particularly shocking at the beginning. And when we were getting desperate for choices, he maybe got a couple of starts. He was certainly coming off the bench quite a lot. And when we were in, for the 3 minutes we were in the Europa League, he was getting games in that and the League Cup, because he scored against you lot in the League Cup, didn't he? Old Trafford. But as soon as we managed to get ourselves thrown out of all the cup competitions at the opening rounds, he's struggled for chances recently. And that Jonathan Caleri that I was talking about, he's probably the third choice striker. We had Diafra Sakho, who's finally back to fitness, and then the rumor is, but given that he's completely mental and has shown himself to be mental several times, we put him on the bench behind Carroll. Obviously, Carroll was starting, and he refused to be on the bench, so we just dropped him. So he's obviously lost his head again. But
what the fuck is wrong with these players, man? I get that it's hard. Like, I look at like Mata being on the bench every week and stuff, and you're like, that's not right, is it? He should be fucking playing. He's a wonderful footballer. But at the end of the day, it is your job, and you've got to just fucking get on with it, haven't you?
Yeah, I think Sakho's got, like, I think there's something not quite right with him as well, because he gets into trouble quite a bit, and there's sort of pretty unsavoury stories that come out about him. Like getting in fights and kind of like domestic violence allegations and things like that.
Crazy. Hasn't Morrison ended up back at yours as well? No, QPR he went, wasn't it?
QPR, yeah. He had his fun little stint in Lazio. He basically sat on the bench doing cryptic tweets for 2 years.
Yeah. My mate works at Wigan, and he was on trial there, and he found out that he can only get fined 2 weeks' wages every month when he was at Lazio.
Yeah.
He goes, that's like the PFA law or some shit, that you can only fine a player 2 weeks' wages every month. He goes, so he would train at the start of the month for a week, and then disappear for 3 weeks. He'd like come back to Manchester and that for 3 weeks, and they could only fine him 2 weeks. So in his fucking twisted mind, he's like, well, I'm only doing a week's work and I'm getting paid for 2. Bonus. Yeah. I mean, work. Fucking playing football. Yeah. So that's what he was doing, and then Lazio was like, "Oh, just fucking get rid of him, whatever." So he'd gone to Wigan, and I was saying to my mate, like, "How good does he look?" Because I know if anyone could get a tune out of him, I would expect it to be Warren Joyce at Wigan. And he goes, "He looks so fucking far off the pace." He goes, "When you find out that he's been playing football 1 week, like a month for the last 7 months," he goes, "it shows." He goes, he's fucking overweight, he's off the pace. He goes, he looks like he don't give a fuck. And I was like, are you going to sign him? Because even a team of Wigan's budget, like, it's a free signing, pretty much. But he's magic. You're talking a Pogba-level footballer when he can be asked. Like, you've got to take a punt on him, haven't you? And he was like, I think they're trying to get him fit. He goes, if we sign him, it would be a deadline day thing. And then he ended up at QPR, didn't it? And I don't even know if he's played. I think he came off the bench, but I think that's all he's had.
Yeah, I think he's had a couple of games down there. I think also managers are a bit reticent to sign him too close to Manchester, aren't they? Because he's got all his fucking trouble mates up there, hasn't he?
Well, it didn't fucking stop him when he went to Italy, so...
No, well, that's the thing. But, like, in England, you can keep a bit more of an eye on him. But I think that was, when he was at West Ham, that was always an issue. It was Sam Allardyce didn't want him to go home. He was like, you fucking stay here and you concentrate. And for that sort of 4 or 5 months where, I think Allardyce gave him the first proper rocket up his arse he'd ever had. 4 or 5 months he looked really good, but then he got dropped a couple of times, and then the attitude just goes, and he was back. He's back in the didn't care again, and that's when we
modern day Gaza. He really is.
Yeah,
unbelievably talented, unbelievably fucking fragile at the same time. I remember the first thing he did when he made his debut for United was a back heel flick. That's like his first touch. He came off, and he had his back to goal. He was on the edge of the D. Someone played a ball into him. And rather than just like controlling it, like, nervous, first touch, playing at Old Trafford. I think it was at Old Trafford at least anyway. He does a back heel flick and spins him behind someone. And you're like, Ravel Morrison, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
When him and Pogba played in the 18s, there was a centre midfield partnership. And you would be forgiven for thinking it was a strike partnership because you'd look at the result and it'd be like, Pogba got 2, Morrison got 1. Morrison got 2, Pogba got 1. And they was providing the assist for each other. And you go, yeah, that's a centre midfield partnership, that.
Proper milk cup heroes, aren't they? What's it called? Milk cup.
Mental, yeah. It's mad how the careers have just fucking gone like that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you lot bought for Pogba, and then like what Morrison could be worth at the same time. Like, he should be worth so much. I think
he should be. Plus the 15% extra because he's English. Like, he should have broke the 100 million barrier.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, at 18. There was like, I mean, the goal he scores against Liverpool in the FA Youth Cup as well, and runs to the cop like that, and you just think, if you could have kept him on a straight and narrow. I mean, I know you never could have, and the kid probably never had a chance. But you find out about what happened in his childhood, he never had a chance. It's just such a fucking shame and a waste of talent because he literally did have it all. I mean, I think Fergie said he might have said it's the most naturally gifted footballer you've ever seen, and I don't think you take words like that from Sir Alex lightly.
I think that there's always things like that. Don't it? One of your coaches said he's the best player since Paul Scholes, and obviously since Paul Scholes has been Pogba's and the rest of the class of '92.
Yeah, so Paul Scholes came through in 1994, so
yeah,
it's a long fucking time ago. And yeah, he was a great player, unbelievably talented, but again, it's just completely fucking wasted, isn't it? Do you know what? I think we're going to wrap it up there because this is going to take me forever to process now.
I mean, I'm sat on the floor as well. I don't know if you can tell, so I'll be happy to stand up and get on a seat.
But thank you to Rob.
Preserving Wi-Fi.
What are we calling this shit again? Can we remember? Warm down.
Career-ending tackle or something. What was it? Fisherman's Corner.
So this is whatever you fuckers decided to call it on Twitter. I can't remember.
Drippy legs.
But thanks to Rob. Go and give him a follow on Twitter and go and check him out on the Football Republic. He is the one with the best show that's on there, so go and check that fucker out. And we'll be back again next Monday with the warm down. And if this goes well, every single Monday with your favourite influencers, unless we can't get them on, and we probably won't be able to get them on, and you'll end up with Rob again. Thanks for watching. See you later.